Hi everyone, it's Nat here. Hope you're all doing well. I'm on to do another design team project for Whichcraft Do You Do. So for this month I've decided to make a ephemera holder to pack up my Christmas ephemera. Time to get rid of it, put it all away. No, I've really been enjoying Christmas crafting, but I've made my Christmas journal now and I'm excited to get on with the New Year's crafting. Also, I'm madly trying to organise things, and through doing my Christmas crafting, I've realised that I haven't got all the little bits and pieces organised very well. They're all in separate sort of containers and bags, and it'll be a lot easier just to have one book that I can flip open and find the bits and pieces that I want to embellish with. So that's the plan for this project, is to make myself an ephemera folder. So I had a look at the website because I knew that there was a digital that I didn't use, and I thought I might be able to incorporate it in this, and it is this Christmas folio collection. Now this has 11 pages and I have printed out only 4 of them for this project because I think that's all I'm going to need. So do go check it out because it does have many more designs. So there's that one. So these I think will be awesome. I'm going to print out some next year. I think if you make them up, you could fit some beautiful big tags in there and send them off to your friends, which would look awesome. Also, that'd be great to slip some little pages in and make some little booklets to slip into your Christmas journals. So I might do some of that next year. And then there's that one. And that one's really sweet. So I'm going to utilise them in some way. And then there's these ephemera display pockets, set 2 this is. And this has 28 pages, lots of different colours, but I decided on just grabbing the red and green ones. Now they're not a Christmas design, but I think being the red and green, they definitely will look Christmassy enough. So initially I was going to use vellum and do vellum pockets, but when I went and looked at these, I saw that there was a video linked to them, and it was a video of Rennie making these up, and it was just a game changer. They're so convenient. And I just thought so much easier than worrying about the vellum pockets. And she shows a number of ways that she makes them up with glue or sewing or adding little borders to them and that. So very, very convenient because you can make them up and cut them down to the size that your page is and that sort of thing. So I thought these will be great to have a go with. I might do some vellum pockets as well. It just depends on how many pockets I need in the end. But this will be a good start. So I'll show you these. So I did I printed out 2 of the big pockets in different reds. Real dark one there and a lighter one. And these are the smaller pockets, and you can see here we've got the 3 different types of red there. It's upside down, but that's all right. These are the green ones, so there's the 3 different colours of green as well. And then I printed out the 2 shades of green. All right, now, as I said, this is set 2. There is another set 1. I'll definitely be printing some of that sometime because that has some themed designs like sewing and botanical and, yeah, some really nice designs. And I think they'll be great to do a sewing ephemera folder and things like that. So I'll be doing that sometime next year, no doubt. And what I also got to make up this folder is cardstock. I've got a stack of cardstock here and I rarely use it. So usually I go for my scraps and that, but I thought, no, drag it out and use some of it. So I just picked some of my green. One of these sheets is a bit shorter than the others, but that doesn't matter. And I got a book cover, a nice size for a little ephemera book for myself. So I'll go off and cut out the digitals so they're ready to go. Then I'll come back and we'll start putting it all together. So I've cut out all my digital pieces here. So all the folios and the ephemera pockets ready to go. Put them to the side. And I've cut down my papers. So how I did that was I measured how wide I wanted the pages here. So I just measured the front cover, and I left a bit of space here and a little bit of space here for the spine and that. And I felt that like 5 1/8 would be plenty. So then I times that by 2 because we'll be folding the cardstock over. So that's 10 1/4 inches. And then I want a bit of area in the middle of the cardstock as well. So I thought I'd add 1/8 of an inch. So that makes it 10 3/8 of an inch length that I want my cardstock. Now this will make a bit more sense to you when I show you my scoring. So I'll put this to the side. And I've got a piece here that I've cut down to the 10 3/8. I've got my scoreboard here. So what I'm doing here is scoring at the 5 1/8 of an inch. So that's the width that we want a page. And then I'm leaving a gap of 1/8 of an inch and scoring again, which will make this side the 5 1/8 as well for the page. So now I can put my scoreboard away. Just grab a ruler to help me, to help guide where those score lines are, and fold this up. Do the same with the other score line. And that gives me a page that's got 1/4 of an inch sort of spine there. So I've done that with my 5 pieces here. And that's given me these 5 pages. Now that will allow a bit of room in here for our ephemera pockets to be filled up with ephemera, I hope. I'm not sure, I haven't made one of these before, so we'll see how it works. So I'm hoping they'll all fit. They look like they'll all fit quite nicely into the spine of our cover here. All right, so the next thing we want to do is prep our cover a bit more. Now, when I went shopping at Woolworths the other day, I ended up with this shopping bag. I do take my own shopping bags, but I didn't quite have enough, so I had to purchase one. So I don't want this to go to waste. And I love the colour and the Christmas trees on it, so I think I want to utilise this in this project as well. So I think we'll cut this down and we'll use this to decorate some of the cover. So that looks just about right for in there. Now it's, do I ink or do I not? I'm not meant to be fussing with these, but I do feel like some green ink will go well. Let's see what we've got here. Pine needles, that sounds appropriate. So now we'll just stick these bits down. And that looks great. Now the cover. I'm thinking I might just, now I do have this tear ruler actually, deckled edge ruler that I got from Whichcraft Do You Do recently. Let's give that a go. stick this to the front and that to the back. And we will ink again. That looks really cool actually. I like that. So now I might put some down the spine. Yeah, I'm not sure if we'll add anything else to the spine or not, but we will put some of this down there for now because I like this piece here. So I might just rip it with a ruler for this. It's not too bad. I'll probably just spray over this with spray sealant after, just to make it easier to keep clean. Okay, so that's our quick cover done. If I want to in the future, I can always add more embellishment, but it's just a personal thing that I want to be practical and functional. It's not really for looking too pretty. Now you can sort of see where there's a bit of a crease there from the bag, but that's all right. Same with the insides there. But I think that looks pretty good. Nice way to do up an old book cover. So now we'll work on some of our ephemera pockets to put on our pages. So as I said before, there is a tutorial that Renee did before on how to put these together. So I'll basically be following the same tutorial. I'll be doing it with glue though, I think. Just nice and simple. Okay, so I've got my scoreboard back and I'm just going to score on the top of each of my pockets and on this middle line of each of them as well. Just thought it'd be easier for me to use a scoreboard, I think. And now for the folding up bit. So we want to fold in that middle line bit over this way. Like so, and then we fold back to the top of the pocket part here. Like so. And that creates your little pocket in there. So you just repeat that with each of the pocket levels. And then this end bit I just want to fold over. So that gives you your stack of pockets there, which is awesome. So the next thing you can do is stick these little bits down here to create your pockets. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on here. And then do the same with this side. So that'll just take a little bit to dry, and then you have this at the back. Now it might make it easier just to stick these bits down as well. I'll stick this down so it doesn't get annoying. So what you can do then is get some backing sheet. Now I have some scrap paper behind me, and I'm just going to use scrap because we're not going to see it. So we can stick it onto a bit of scrap paper, which I think is going to make it easier for me in the long run to stick it into my book and cut it down if I need to, which I will need to with these pockets most likely. So I'm just going to adhere it to that. So for this I might use my thicker glue. Now you've got your pocket done, ready to go and put in your journal. Just need to trim it down then. So the next pockets I have are these ones. Now these are long tall pockets. So when you cut them out, it has this piece that says glue on them. And what you're meant to do is glue this bottom bit here onto that piece, and then you'd score it in the middle of that one and fold it like I showed that you fold the bigger ones, and you'd have this long tall pocket. Now the issue with this is it would be too long for me to put on my pages. So what I'm going to do is treat this as two separate pockets, I think. We don't need this whole piece up here then, so I'll just cut that off a bit. So again, I will grab my scoreboard. My bone folder. Get my scoreboard the right way might help. Doing so well today. And again, we want to fold on top of our pockets and in the middle here. Okay, so that's one of our little pockets. They're so cute and so easy to make. Just got to remember when I do stick them into the book that I just stick them down these three sides, and then we've got a nice big pocket in behind as well. So I'll do something similar with this, and I've got a couple more of these bigger ones to do, so I'll go off and get them done. Now I want to make up a couple of the folios that I've printed. Now I've printed two of these on my thin photo mat and two of them on a thicker, I think it's 180 GSM paper. So the picture's not quite as vibrant on this paper, but it is a little bit thicker. So I'm going to put these thinner ones to the side, and we're going to use these for the moment. Now, firstly, I think I will score where we want to fold. And then I think I might just ink the insides a bit because they're very white, but I'll just ink the edges. I don't mind too much because, as I've said before, it is just a personal thing for me. Okay, now we'll fold these on the score lines. So try and get them even. That back where it's meant to be, although we can trim it if it's a bit crooked. And then in the middle. And then we have a cute little folio. So what I'm going to do is stick the tops of both of these little fold over bits over, and that will give us room to store more ephemera in these two little pocket parts. And then that's going to be slipped into a pocket. The same with this one. I'll do this one exactly the same. So we will fold these bits over. So there we have two of the little folios, and as I said, we'll stick these bits down. So with our other two folios, I am actually going to cut these apart. Why not? So I'll cut these down the middle if I can. We all know how crooked my cutting is. Then I will cut these little bits off. Now it gives us 4 pieces from each folio. Like so. Now they are quite thin, so I will make them thicker by sticking them onto just some old book page here. So I will repeat that process with all the pieces. I'll trim around them and then I'll be back. So I have backed all these pieces, so they're a bit more sturdy now. So they're going to be great to use. My cutting has been a bit crooked though, so there's some white spots. I might end up inking them as I use them. Put them to the side. Then I had an idea. We're going to sew our signatures in once we've stuck our ephemera holders in. I thought, why not? I might punch the holes to sew in now. I might do, I don't know. It's always, do I do 3-hole or 5-hole pamphlet stitch? I might just do a 3-hole. I just feel like keeping things simple with this. So I thought it might just be slack and easy to just put all of these together in each other like this and punch the holes while they're all together like this. And hopefully they'll all be in a similar space then. So I might do that and just eyeball where we want them. So one in the sort of middle. And then one about an inch from one end. Inch and a bit. And then the same at the other end. They look like they've gone through nicely. So, and then what I'm thinking of doing is pockets at the front and back that we slide that we can slide our little embellishment folios in. Probably be like that. And then with these, I'm thinking these can be tuck spots either that way or that way on a page. And these can be tuck spots as well, like that, for bigger items or tags and stuff. So that is my plan. So it's just figuring out what I want where. So I think on the inside of this one we'll have some of our embellishment bits. I'm thinking with these, they're rather big, so whether we chop these ones in half and have them set up just for smaller embellishment pieces. So let's just do that with one. So I might grab, if I try doing it with a knife, I might rip. If I do it with scissors, it'll be crooked. It's a no-win situation. See, that's already crooked for me. Let's get a ruler and a pencil. Now I have inked around all of these. I inked with a aged mahogany around the red one and with my pine needles around this one. So now that we've cut them, we're going to have to stick this one edge down again, but that's easy. Just stick some glue in there and let it dry. And I'll have to ink down these cut sides. So I'm going to leave these open so we can slip stuff behind them too, because the more the merrier. And do we want better off down the bottom, so if we slip stuff in it can come out the top a bit. Can leave it sort of open on this side maybe a bit too. So stick it down that side. So that's one of our pockets in. So what I might do is go off and have a good think about how and where I want to put all of these pockets and get them all in. So I ended up putting most of the bits and pieces in. I was just on a roll. And I've got glue everywhere where I shouldn't get glue. I think I'm rushing a bit with this one. It's because I just looking forward to putting stuff in it, the fun part. So I'll show you what I've done. So I need to trim that one too. I trimmed the other one. Let's trim the little bit that's sticking up off. That's better. So I still need to do a pocket here, but I want to do that after I have put the signatures in. So I've used these little bits off of the folio to add a couple of pockets at the front there. And I have stuck all my little ephemera pockets in. Now these ones I've left them open so I can stick bigger things behind, which I showed when I stuck that one in. With these ones, I've stuck them around the 3 sides so I can stick things behind. If I don't like that, I can go and stick them down afterwards, but I thought it sort of maximises the area that I can put things, and I can put big things and small things in each page. Now, I had a couple of pages spare, so I thought some envelopes wouldn't go astray. So I can stick some things in there, and I also left space to stick bookmarks, that sort of thing behind there. So you can put stuff in this envelope and things in that envelope, and I could probably even tuck 1 or 2 things down in here as well. So I've got that one. And then I've used the front of the folios as tuck spots for bigger pieces as well. So these are all the same, left open so I can put things behind them. And the fronts of the folio, I used the backs of the folios similarly. This is the back of one of them. That's a tuck spot there. That's either the back or a front of the other one. There's the other lot of envelopes. There's the other edge pieces. And then there's the other folio that we'll use. And there'll be a pocket here for that one. So really simple and plain. As I said, I'm not really embellishing it because once it's filled up with stuff, it looks embellished. It doesn't need all these embellishments behind that. I want to see what I've got in there. So I think that's going to be great. So the next thing I need to do now is cut some bits of chipboard for my spine and get a fabric piece to cover that with. I've got to stick 1 of the pieces in, and then we'll get to sewing our signatures in. So I've cut 2 pieces of chipboard here. It's just a backing of a pad of paper or something. The bit that I grabbed was pretty well the length that I needed, so I thought I'd just leave that. So width-wise, I just grabbed a ruler and measured basically the cardboard bit in there. Now I'll just check that when we have it in there that these side bits will go up nicely, and it looks like they will. So the first thing we'll do is stick this in. It just reinforces and keeps flat the back bit. Stick that in there. And before it dries, it just makes sure it is sitting sort of in the centre where we want it. Yeah, that's feeling good. And I'll just put a bit of pressure on until it dries a bit. Sometimes I put bulldog clips on the ends or something heavy like some punches and that sitting on top just to hold it down while it dries a bit, which I might do. Just sit them on there for a while. Just move that to the side. And then I get my other piece of chipboard and I want to cover that with my fabric. Now it's like a hessian or a canvas or something that I found in the second-hand store, and it was cut into a strip like this, and it's the perfect size. So I'm going to cover my other piece with that. So again, we'll get some glue on. Not too thick if I can help it, because it can show through this material. Should do. We'll just try and sort of centre it as well as we can. We want it down from the top a bit. There we go. So I've cut the fabric so there's just a little tiny bit, a few millimetres at the top and bottom overhang. Oh, the glue's coming through a bit, but it doesn't matter because our signatures are going to cover that pretty well. Usually I try and be a bit more careful if we're going to see the backing, between the signatures, but for this we probably won't. So I think it was 3.2. So what we want to do is find halfway. So it's 1.5, 1.6 is halfway. So I will find 1.6, which is here, and 1.6, which is there, and I'll just rule the line down there. So we know, since we've got an odd amount of signatures, the middle signature will go in the middle. So we need to fit another 2 signatures either side of that one. So I've made all the measurements for sewing my signatures in. I did do it on camera, but didn't know that it wasn't filming because my iPad had filled up. I love it when that happens. So basically what I did is measured my cardboard across like this. And I did it in centimetres, and it was 3.2 centimetres. I halved that, which made 1.6 centimetres. So I marked that and drew a line, 1.6 centimetres, right down the middle. And that's where we'd sew our middle signature. Because we've got an odd amount of signatures, I'm putting the middle one right in the middle. And that means we've got 2 signatures either side of the middle signature that we had to put in. And it worked out pretty well. If I put one in 6 millimeters away either side of the middle, and then 6 millimeters again away either side of that, that'd fit in quite nicely. So that's what I've done there. And then I grabbed one of the signatures that we've punched the holes in. I also made a note of the top of this spine piece and made sure that I was lining up the top of the signature with the top of the spine piece. And I lined up the signature sort of in the middle, and then on one of the lines I just put a dot where the holes match up. There. Then I measured where they were, and then measured again over on this line and put a dot there at the same distance. And that way I could go across and put a dot at exactly the same distance for all my signatures. And I did that for the middle, the bottom and the top holes for all the signatures. So that's how I've put all the marks for where I'm going to punch the holes for all my signatures. Okay, so now I'm going to punch those holes. And then we'll be ready to sew it all in, which is exciting, because it means we're nearly done. Now, where's my, there it is. Got my awl here. So I'm just going to go over those dots and punch through. So that's all our holes punched now for our 5 signatures. Now for a 3-hole pamphlet stitch, I usually get about twice the length of the signature. See if we can thread this through our needle. Okay, been saved by the needle threader. And we'll sew the first signature in with you guys, and then I'll go off of camera and do the rest. So now I've got to decide whether I want the knot on the inside or hidden behind our spine. I think I'll have it hidden behind the spine because this is not, you know, I'm not embellishing this book. It's more to be practical and functional. So now, which is the top? This is why you put the T on there. That's the top. So we will go through the middle hole of where we want our first signature here. We'll leave a tail. And we'll go through the middle of our first signature. And then we'll go through the top, if I can. And then through the top of our spine piece. It's a little tight because I didn't punch the holes very far with our awl because I didn't want them too big. Then we'll go right down the bottom. And through the bottom hole of our signature. And then back through our middle hole here. And you've got to try not to catch the thread that's already in there, or else you won't be able to tighten the threads. And then we want to go back through the spine piece. Again, with trying not to catch the piece that's already there, which can be difficult, especially when you're using this thread because it's got so many separate pieces. So I sort of try and hold it taut while I'm doing this. Okay. So you want one piece of the tail under one side and one piece of the tail under the other side. And you need to pull it taut. So it's pretty tight. There's just this piece here. I've got to figure out where that comes from. I think it's in this piece. Don't know how that happened. There it is. There we go, that's fixed that. Okay. So now we've got that nice and tight, we can just tie it in a double knot. And I'll just cut them shorter. And that's our first signature sewn in. So now I've just got to do the same with the other 4 signatures. So here are all my signatures sewed in. It's amazing how much quicker and easier it is once you switch the camera off. And yeah, they've all gone in quite nicely. Love the look of the red thread too. So next thing I've got to do is stick that onto there and stick these edge flaps down and then give it time, plenty of time to dry. So I'll probably give it a good half an hour or hour to dry before I mess around with it at all. So we'll get that in. So again, make sure the top is up the top. Got to double check these things. The amount of times, I reckon every time I made a journal, I always put something in upside down. So I do double, triple check all the time now. And then we line it up with the bottom chipboard. That's looking pretty good, I think. Let's check the other side. And you want to start pressing it down so it has good contact there. So press the edges down. These end bits. I like to get a ruler and go in between the signatures and give it a good press. Now I like to try and hold my signatures up too, or else it places a bit of strain. If you let them flop down, it places a bit of strain on the glue. Make sure that's going to close all right, which it is. Beautiful. I think this is going to fit nicely. So now what I want to do is just leave the book like this, sitting up like this, wedged between something to hold it up like this for about half an hour with this glue. Some people say overnight and that, but I think it depends on what glue you use. So we'll do that and just let it dry, and then we'll come back and finish off the last few pockets. So my signatures should be stuck in there quite nicely now. So now we've got to stick these side bits down, and that helps hold the whole signature package in really firmly. Just debating whether I cut this down a bit. I don't think I'll worry. So we'll glue this in. So I like to get some glue in the little ridge here, in the valley, I should say. Like that. And I'm just going to grab my ruler, which is still missing. There it is. And I just press the material down into the valley there, so it fits in nicely. And that way when you open and close the book, it's not all junked up and it doesn't bubble up and that. It just makes it nice and neat. That's what I'm trying to say. And we do the same on the other side. So now what I like to do, I have that little overhang there, and I like to put a bit of glue in there and just stick the material down there a bit. And that way we can't see the chipboard that's just in there. So I've got some Kmart fabric glue here. I'm just going to use a bit of that, just because I've got a fine tip with it. Yeah, it's coming out. Just press that down. Just makes it a bit neater there. And I'll do that the other end as well. So now we've just got to do our front and back pockets for our little folios, little ephemera folios. Okay, I found some of this broderie on glazed stuff. Just got a little piece of it, so I thought that'll do. Use up some of my scraps. So I'm just going to cut a bit of that off. My glue's probably going to show through, but oh well. Just think material's got a bit of give in it, so it'll be easier for the pocket to slip down in there. I think I will just use these scissors on the bottom as well. should work. No, maybe that's the right way. Yes. Is it that way? Doesn't matter. I think it is that way. So let's see how we go sticking that down. One in here. Yep. Yeah, that looks nice. It'd still be a little tacky, so I'll just be careful with that. And that one will go in the back. So here is my ephemera book all finished for now. It still might end up with just a little bit of embellishment on the cover. It depends what I find while I'm going through my ephemera. So this video is plenty long enough, but what I'm going to do is probably make another one of me going through some ephemera and stacking it full of stuff. So stay tuned for that one in the next few days. So there's our cover, the spine, and the back. And the signature's all sewn in. There's our pocket with a little ephemera folder. Should sit in there a bit better once we've bulked it out full of stuff. And the little pockets either side. And these pockets. Lots and lots of pockets. There's lots of room for these to expand. I'm glad that I did the 1/8 of an inch sort of spine in each one of these signature pieces. So in each one of the page sets, because that allows us to bulk it out heaps with ephemera, which will be cool. And we've got an envelope flip outs. And then there's our other pocket. So it's all ready to go. So I can't wait to stick a whole lot of stuff in it. So I hope you enjoyed that and it gave you some ideas. Try out the ephemera pockets. I reckon they're going to be really handy. And yeah, I can't wait now to make another one from my sewing bits and pieces and my botanicals and use the other ephemera pocket kit that they have. So alrighty, so take care of yourself. All the links will be down below and we will see you again soon. Bye.